Ew, ugh, Bob, what are you doing? No, no, I'm over here droodling. Ugh. What are you droodling? No, I'm droodling, you know, the flag. Ugh, the flag. Normally you're droodling the cabot. Yeah, yeah, but today I'm droodling the flag. Ugh. Is there any reason why you're droodling the flag, Bob? Does it have 50 stars? Yeah, it's got 50 stars. Ugh, well, all right then. Is there any particular reason? Yeah. Well, I was working, pushing carts around, and somebody just came up and gave me this piece of paper. What's the paper? I don't know, really. You know, it's something about voting. And I just voted already. Now they want me to vote again. Ugh. Oh, what do they want you to vote for? No, they they they, they gave me this thing. It's called the blank paper ballot. Uh, uh, what do you mean? No, this is a little piece of paper, and it's got like words all over it, and it says the blank paper ballot. Vote for the U.S. Constitution. Yeah, if you're ready to tell a politician and government the frustration you feel with their unconstitutional behavior, take a blank piece of paper, put it in an envelope, and send it to the politician of your choice. Yeah, really. Yeah, sounds kind of interesting. Please go on. No, yes. The original U.S. Constitution first started as a blank piece of paper. Why not make the blank piece of paper a symbol to save the U.S. Constitution? Put a blank piece of paper in an envelope, in your own handwriting, not a printer. Write your return address at the top left of the envelope. Write your address of the politician in the middle of the envelope, and put a stamp on it, top right. Put your ballot in the mail. Ugh. Well, it's not. What is it? It's just a blank piece of paper? Yeah, it's supposed to save the U.S. Constitution. Well, what's going to happen when they just open up the envelope and pull out a blank piece of paper? Then what? No, I don't know. What they're going to do. They're probably going to look at it. Yeah, yeah, and I don't know. I guess if a lot of people send it to them and they finally get the idea of what the blank piece of paper means, then maybe they'll follow the Constitution. Yeah, I don't know if they have been following the Constitution or they haven't been following the Constitution, but to me, this is just a way for, to show them, that we care and that we want them to follow the Constitution. I mean, if they're following the Constitution, then that's fine. It's just like, it's just like, hey, remember that follow the Constitution, it's just, just telling them, telling them with a blank piece of paper. Yeah. Well, what happens yeah, when they get the blank piece of paper if they get upset? No, how can you be upset about a blank piece of paper? There's nothing written on it. It's not like you're swearing at them or nothing. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but you give them your return address, then, they might, call you on the phone and ask you why you sent them a blank piece of papers, and if they're all upset about it and stuff, maybe they'll send somebody over in a big black car. So, yeah, but, you know, how could they do that? I mean, really didn't do anything. I mean, you sent me a blank piece of paper and I'm all upset about it, so, I'm going to make a law that you can't send me a blank piece of paper? Yeah. That's kind of, a little far-fetched. Yeah, I can imagine if you're in court, Your Honor, I did send him a blank piece of paper. Yeah, whatever. Ugh. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, then, well, what are they going to do with all these blank pieces of paper? I don't know. They could, use them to print stuff on them because most of the time it's just like regular printer paper, you know. And maybe they'll, you're telling them to follow the Constitution, and maybe they'll just like, okay, well, all right, I'm going to use your piece of paper telling me to follow the Constitution, to write laws. Yeah, to write laws. Yeah. So they'd be like writing laws, whether they're unconstitutional or not, but be writing them on a piece of paper that you sent them, saying, follow the Constitution. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah, it is kind of crazy. Yes, it's one of those things. It's kind of this, that, and the other. Yeah, and it's just a Blank piece of paper. So what was I supposed to do again? No, here, I got the piece of paper right here. All right, let me say it again. It's called the blank paper ballot. Vote for the U.S. Constitution. If you're ready to tell a politician in government the frustration you feel with their unconstitutional behavior, take a blank piece of paper, put it in an envelope, and send it to the politician of your choice. The original U.S. Constitution first started as a blank piece of paper. Why not make the blank piece of paper a symbol to save the U.S. Constitution? Put a blank piece of paper in an envelope, in your own handwriting, not a printer. Write your return address at the top of the envelope. Write the address of the politician in the middle of the envelope. Put a stamp on the top right. And put your ballot in the mail. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cheap. I mean, it's just an envelope, a piece of paper, and a stamp. Yeah, and just a little time. And, you could send, like, I don't know. You could do that, like, five times a day, send them those out. And then maybe they'll follow the Constitution. If not, they have a bunch of paper. But I don't really think they'd want to use that paper. Maybe some of them wouldn't want to. Then what are they going to do with it? No, maybe they'll just grind it up and, make paper again. They try to get the Constitution out of that paper, so they can write unconstitutional laws with it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, they could just throw it out, too. Just throw out the paper. Yeah, well, that'd be a waste. Because it's all ready for the printer. Why would they do that? There's nothing written on it. Yeah, I know, but... Well, the government has their ways. They'll probably say, oh, you're blocking the normal mail traffic with your blank piece of paper, and, we don't like it, and, we're all upset. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, no, well. They always come up with some reason not to work. Yeah, I know. Yeah, they work when they want to, and then they don't when they don't, and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, well, look, I'm all done. I'm all done with the flag. What do you think? Yeah, it's there. Yeah. It's there. It's pretty good, Bob. Yeah. You got 50 stars, 13 stripes. Yeah. Well, what are you going to do with it now? No, I think I was going to frame it and put it on the wall. Yeah. Well, I guess I don't know what I'm doing right now, so I guess this is the end of the show. I guess everybody has to sit down and just, write out the blank paper ballot, but not on the paper, but just on the envelope and send it to the politician. And don't forget to put a stamp on it, your return address, and do it by hand. Yeah, it doesn't look that hard. Maybe if a lot of people did it, maybe they would follow the Constitution. Yeah, that's right, Bob. They might, but they just think they are anyway. Yeah, I know. But, they always pass laws and everybody goes, oh, that's unconstitutional. And then it has to go all the way to the Supreme Court, and then, that's no way to do it. I mean, you should read the Constitution and know whether or not the law that you're making is constitutional or not. Yeah, I know. Well, maybe this will wake them up. Maybe this is it. Maybe our voices will finally be heard. Well, through a piece of paper that's blank. Yeah. Follow the Constitution. Follow the Constitution. Follow the Constitution. No. Yes. Well, I think that's the end of this fantastic show. So, the blank paper ballots. Get one and send it to them. Yeah. And don't forget to put the stamp on. Bye-bye.